Every time someone says retail music sets the mood, they're accidentally describing one of the most well-documented mechanisms in consumer psychology. But they're usually wrong about how it works. Most people think happy music makes shoppers happy, who buy more. It's simple and intuitive, but the research says it's incomplete. I'm Daniel Fox, founder of Entuned, and the science of emotion in retail goes way deeper than mood playlists. In 1982, a landmark study published in the Journal of Retailing introduced something called the PAD model: pleasure, arousal, and dominance. Three emotional dimensions that predict whether a customer approaches or avoids a retail environment. And of these three, one dominated everything else: pleasure. If a store environment produced pleasure, customers approached, they browsed longer, they interacted with products, they spent more. If an environment produced displeasure, they avoided, they left faster, they touched less, they bought less. Arousal and dominance mattered, but pleasure was the primary driver. This is the theoretical backbone of everything that came after. Pleasure isn't a nice to have, it is the gateway variable. Nothing else in the store works if the customer isn't in a pleasant state first. Now, 12 years later, a follow-up study in the same journal made it concrete. Researchers measured shoppers' emotional states after 5 minutes in a store. Then it tracked their actual spending. The finding? The pleasure level at the 5-minute mark predicted unplanned purchases. Not planned purchases, the stuff that was on the list. That wasn't affected. But the impulse buys, the add-ons, the "I wasn't going to buy this but" items, those were predicted by how pleasant the customer felt shortly after walking in. 5 minutes. That's how fast the environment sets the emotional trajectory. And that trajectory determines how much discretionary money gets spent. A 1997 study in psychology and marketing laid out the complete causal chain. It's not environment leads directly to spending, it's that environment leads and behavior leads to spending. Emotion is the mediator, it's the middle link in the chain. That means you can't shortcut it. You can't just optimize the store or the layout or the lighting or the product placement and ignore how the space makes people feel. If the emotional state isn't right, the behavioral response you want, browsing, considering, purchasing, they don't follow. The chain breaks at the emotional link, and here's the implication for music. Music is one of the fastest, most consistent emotional triggers in a retail environment. Lighting takes a renovation, layout takes a remodel, music takes a speaker and a decision, and it is the most accessible way to influence the emotional link in the chain. Now here's where it gets counterintuitive. A 1990 study published in Psychology and Marketing tested happy music versus sad music for a greeting card display. You'd expect happy music to win. Buy greeting cards, feel happy, it's a good fit. But sad music produced more purchases. Specifically, sad music created a stronger emotional response that aligned with the product. Greeting cards are about sentiment, sympathy, missing someone, deep affection. Sad music matched that emotional register better than happy. The researchers called this emotional congruence, and it's a better predictor than simple positivity. The right emotion for the right context beats happy every time. A surf shop might need an energized, exciting vibe. A jewelry store might need a calm awe. A florist might need gentle warmth. Just play happy music misses the entire point. This is why we don't build Entuned around mood labels like happy or chill. We build music around parameters that can be matched to context. Pleasure is always the baseline. You never want displeasure, but the specific emotional profile depends on what you sell, who you sell it to, and what emotional state makes them receptive to your product. That's not something a playlist can do. Playlists are organized by vibe. We're organized by emotional architecture. Now, emotion isn't the soft side of retail. It is the actual mechanism. Pleasure predicts spending. Emotional state mediates the path from environment to behavior. And the right emotion isn't always happy. It's whatever matches the product and the context. If you're not deliberately programming the emotional dimension of your store, you're leaving the most powerful level in consumer behavior up to chance. Now, this is one of the deepest topics in the 28 study library I'm covering on the channel. The emotional mechanism connects everything: tempo, genre, volume, multisensory design. If you want the full picture, subscribe. And if you want music that's designed around emotional architecture, not just playlists, Entuned is free to get started. No credit card, no trial, no clock ticking. So head on over to Entuned. The link is below.